I used to hang out with them all, actually, when I was modelling. Britpop, Blur, Oasis, goth, parties. But then, of course, Common People came out, and everybody thought it was written about me, which was completely mortifying and ridiculous. I mean, I barely knew Jarvis. What? But she came from Greece. She had a thirst for knowledge. It couldn't have been me. I've never wanted to know anything.
Hey everyone, welcome to a special bonus episode of the Fashion Grunge Pod. I'm Lauren.
I'm Mikey.
Charles.
Hey, Charles.
Hey guys.
Hey, Barbie. Hey, Barbie.
Hey Ken. Oh, that's actually really funny because I was gonna tell you both that Variety just released the actors on actors interview with Cillian Murphy and Margot Robbie, so I'm about to watch it after this. Cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Hey Ken. Apparently there might be a spinoff, is what I heard.
I hope so.
I kind of hope so because I love Ryan Gosling, so that would be really cool.
He was phenomenal as Ken. By the way, the director Emerald for this movie. By the way, we're doing Saltburn.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're talking Saltburn if you hadn't figured out by the title of.
But I didn't know that Emerald was actually, she played Midge in the Barbie movie.
Yes.
That was awesome.
She also played Camilla in The Crown, which I'm currently watching.
Currently, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't started that yet.
Charles, you're what? End of season 4?
Yes,
you got to the end of 4.
I think Margaret Thatcher was last season I watched.
Yeah, that's where I am now. Yeah. It's really good. It's just really sad and yeah, it's just like really upsetting just to see like what happens with everyone.
I love Margaret Thatcher. I specifically love Gillian Anderson playing Margaret Thatcher in season 4. It's just sort of hard to move on.
That's got to be very interesting to watch.
Helena Bonham Carter as Princess Margaret is also like one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's so good.
I have got to watch this.
Yeah, you really do. Like, I thought I wouldn't really be as into it as I am because I thought it was going to be like kind of dry, which it is. Mm-hmm. But the actors are so good. And the writing is so good that it actually makes you interested in this, like, what you would think would be kind of like dry material is pretty good. The way they've done it is pretty good,
I sort of like it because you kind of get like a crash course in like modern British history, you know?
That's true.
It's, you know, it's like stuff I just didn't know. I forget what it was called, but there was that collapse at that coal mine of, you know, that landslide in Wales that like, you know, hit the school, and I had no idea about that.
That was so tragic.
So is this show, sorry to interject, more factual than just what we think would happen? Or
it's pretty factual.
I think that like it's more or less factual. However, the private conversations I think are speculative.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I think it's pretty grounded in reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. At the end of some of the episodes, they'll show pictures of the real events that they've just discussed in the episode. So the one that I recently watched was how they found out that there were several like distant cousins of one side of the royal family that were put into like a mental institution. Mm-hmm. So they found out there were 5 cousins, and like some of them were declared dead on paper, but then they found out that they were like actually hidden away. So at the end of the episode, they actually show the real pictures of those people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so you're like, oh wow, there were people that they did, you know, that they hid. It's really fucked. Like, it's really fucked up. But yeah, it's really, really good. I think Emma Corrin's really good as like young Lady Di, which is really neat. And the guy who plays Charles is really good.
Who plays Charles?
Not Dominic West, who plays him a bit later. It's the guy who plays like the Charles when he was maybe like 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. I think his name's like Josh O'Connor. I think he got an Emmy for this season for lead actor. I think, or Golden Globe, something like that. Like he won a big award for this. So it was really cool. But we are here to talk about Saltburn. We're going to get so off tangent and so off track, but I just wanted to do a random bonus episode. There's no real general structure. We all just kind of wrote down down notes about it because all of us have seen it, and pretty recently I have seen it twice in the theater. Mikey, as of last night, has also seen it twice in the theater, which is a first.
Yeah, well, it's definitely not a first for me seeing movies twice in like a few days or whatnot, but it's been that way. I mean, it hasn't been that way in a while.
Yeah, that's what the first is. And Charles mentioned before we started that this is the first time that we have both seen a movie twice in the theater that Charles has seen once.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you were gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
but not for lack of
we're
trying.
we're just usually talking about Jurassic Park, and I'm just like, you people are in my territory, you know, like. So
Speaking of Jurassic Park, I was watching Jurassic World last night, and I text you guys in the group chat hoping for some like support about how it was like really late, and I was like kind of attracted to Owen from Jurassic World. I did not say Chris Pratt; I said Owen. And
That's what we're gonna call it. Support, huh?
yeah, I did. I wanted some well, he is pretty awful, but Owen's pretty hot and can like take care of himself in this situation.
yeah,
So I was like, yeah, I mean, he can talk to raptors. Like, what's wrong with that? And then I basically just got like a total shaft from Mikey, and I was like, Charles was typically silent, so I was like, okay, he either completely agrees because he would probably like refute this, or I was hoping that there was going to be an interjection with like Mike is Team Jacob, so like who cares? What
Hey,
he thinks?
wait a minute. Damn it.
I'm saying Owen Grady. I mean, Claire kind of brushed him off, and I think she was, wrong to do that, and to ding someone for wearing shorts on a first date is pretty petty, in my opinion.
In Costa Rica, where it's hot.
Exactly.
I just like how last night you admitted to liking a part of Chris Pratt.
A part? Oh, like a role?
Yeah,
I'll admit that.
You're
That's not a big
so
deal.
like doing him a lot, and yes, he is a bad person in real life. I
Well,
understand.
I don't know if he's bad, but I don't like him. So,
but it was just funny to me. I wasn't trying to be like an asshole.
I mean, Star-Lord's all right. He's okay too. I mean, sometimes only in the first movie and Infinity War. All the other ones, no.
But you're like, it was just really funny.
I actually really like Jurassic World. As far as the new sequels go, it's really good and still holds up. So it's on HBO now. So that's why I was watching it. I was like, I like this one.
I think they're completely done though with like Jurassic Park, right?
I think that's what they're saying now. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a reboot of a reboot in like a few years.
It's gonna be Scream after a while. They're gonna pull a Scream.
What did that girl call it in Scream 6? A requel.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is that what she called it? A requel? Yeah, oh no. Randy would be rolling over.
He probably was.
His grave.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's just talk first impressions about Saltburn. Like, had you guys heard or seen any kind of like chatter about it before you saw it in the theater?
I was vaguely aware that it was sort of a horny people in a big house movie.
Yes.
But I didn't really know a lot of the details. Just because, if I can, I sort of like to go into a movie blind. So aside from watching the trailer, I try not to find out like too much about the story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I honestly, until I didn't know anything about it until you texted me the trailer.
Oh, okay.
I had seen nothing. I hadn't heard about it from anybody. And so this was like a pleasant surprise. And then the more like you and I talked about it, and then you were like, oh, I want to go see it. Let's go see it. I was like, okay, sure. But even with my second viewing of it last night, well, okay, let me talk about the first time. So obviously, like we said, we saw it together. I loved every part of this movie. It gives off a newer and fresher take on like talented Mr. Ripley vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Every actor and actress in this is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got Barry Keoghan and because I'm a Marvel nerd, he was in the Eternals. That's the only thing that comes to mind. I know he was in a bunch of other stuff like what were we talking about off air? Dunkirk,
yeah. He's also in Killing of a Sacred Deer, which has been on my list to watch this week.
Last year, he was nominated for an Oscar for the Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, I heard about that too. Yeah.
And it's Keoghan. I said Keegan at first, so I know people are gonna jump. It's Keoghan, yeah. Just
that makes more sense.
I thought it was Keegan, just how I read it, but it's Keoghan, yeah.
It's more Irish, yeah. That sounds more.
That sounds more Irish, yeah.
But I also when we talked off air, I said this movie was brought to you by Barry's awesomely chiseled body, which you get
slutty little chain, and slutty little Irish boy chain.
And the scenery is just amazing. I mean, we don't go we only go to like Oxford, Barry's Oliver in the movie, Oliver's house, and Saltburn. So like really 3 locations, right? But they're
school.
Yeah.
School, the house, and Saltburn, right? Yeah, that's basically it.
The scenery is breathtaking. I mean, the lighting is really cool too. You're not struggling,
No, thank God it actually was lit. Like unlike Batman, which what the fuck?
Right.
Jeez.
The music. You and I keep talking about the music. The music is amazing. Actually, when I was coming out of the movie last night, I was looking on iTunes, and you know how, I guess, well, I mean, on different platforms, but iTunes, somebody can create like their own version of an album, like their
Spotify too.
Playlist. Spotify does that. So there's a Saltburn playlist that someone created, and it's phenomenal. It's like songs that weren't in the movie, but are by the artists that have stuff in the movie, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's cool.
So it kind of goes with the same vibe.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
That was one of my I gave it a general 8 out of 10, and my big point off was that I wish that there was more music and that it was featured more. I feel like we only got maybe like 3 or 4 songs that you actually heard full volume, and I just kind of wanted like a Clueless vibe where every like 7 or 8 minutes we're hearing a song. But I mean, that's neither here nor there, but that was just like my one kind of, because I just love movies that have really, really intense music. That's a huge part of it. So I really liked that it was a huge part of it. And I kind of liked the fact that it was like 2000. I think we were talking about it, like the sign when Oliver first goes to school and you see him and it says like welcome class of 2006. But then it looks like he graduates, or unless he gets a graduation for every end of term or every end of year. Because I was like, well, if this is 06 and he looks like he's new, and he's just come there, then he would, I don't know how long their schools are there. It's what, Oxford? Is it 3 years or is it 4?
So the timeline, I don't know, but the timeline thing was weird because like I wish it would have said, this is like 3 weeks from now, this is 4 weeks, at the bottom of the screen or something, because you know what I mean?
I think because it takes place over. Doesn't Venetia say at the end when she's talking to Ollie that she's like, you knew him 6 months?
Yeah.
So it's like it's
that
the beginning of term
time.
into summer. So it's kind of weird too with the I think we're also like overthinking it because we dissect movies as a rule. So we're like trying to place together the timeline and the fashion, but I'm like, it wasn't winter when we met him, and that would have made more sense for it to end up in summer. Is that we would have seen, but then it also time jumps in the end. You don't see how far ahead it was when like the guy dies.
Yeah.
The stepfather. Like we don't see how long that was from when he left to when, like, was that a year? He looked considerably older at the end. So I was like, was this a year?
Side note, I love Richard E. Grant. I think
Loki.
Fucking amazing. Like old man Loki. He was like the Spice Girls manager in Spice World. Let's not forget that. But when that was one of my favorite scenes. Sorry, I mean I'm kind of going off like side note, but that was one of my favorite scenes. And I know like the son just died, played by Jacob Elordi, who played Elvis and Priscilla recently. When he's just like shouting at everybody. And I was just like, what in the madhouse is going on?
I mean, it's pretty mad.
It was like, what madhouse, like Tea Party Mad Hatter? Oh my god, he should play the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, he would actually be a good Mad Hatter.
Wouldn't
I
that
feel
be amazing?
like.
Anyway, sorry. Side note over.
But no, I'm just trying to think of, I feel like what's been really interesting for me since I'm so online is seeing the reactions and the differences between like the millennials watching it and Gen Z watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see the first movie that I can remember that is inherently like weird and uncomfortable in some scenes, but it's marketed to this generation.
Yeah.
Like we've had these films before and they've been kind of either they'll be a film like this, but none of the actors will be at the level that these actors are, so that we wouldn't really hear about it. So I don't know, but you have someone like Jacob Elordi who's everywhere, and Barry Keoghan who's everywhere, and Rosamund Pike. Like you have these names that are going to draw you to go see the film, which I think is really cool and interesting. And then it's funny to see people like different review. One guy on TikTok actually does really cool reviews. I don't remember his name right now, but he does really cool reviews where he kind of said what I thought about it. Like I thought it was really cool. I mean, yeah, some bits were uncomfortable, but that's kind of what this movie is. I think if you went in thinking it was going to be, you know, a Coppola film, you know, then it's a bit different. Like that's obviously not the vibe that Emerald goes for, but I did like that it was like sick and twisted, but not too sick and twisted, but a lot of really funny memes, I think. But I also have to say that one thing that I found really interesting was that when me and Mikey saw it, it was like 10:45 on a Sunday night, and there were maybe 2 other people in the theater. Three?
A couple, and then one Brando in the back of us with a mask on.
Okay.
All right.
No, it's cool. But when we watched it the whole time, like the entire theater was silent. So I didn't hear any reactions to like the bathtub scene, like any of the like uncomfortable, like the grave shagging scene. Like there are probably like 4 kind of scenes that you kind of like wait for audience reactions. But it was cool when I saw it with Charles in Bethesda. Well, granted, there were 2 women that were kind of loud behind us, but
super vocal. Like,
yeah, there were lots of, I could hear other people's reactions.
Oh yeah, I mean, last night there was maybe 2 couples, so that's 4 people, and then like a single woman, and no, and then 2 girls like way in the front, because I was up in the back where like I could order my food and stuff.
Oh, must be nice.
Hey, I took myself out. All right.
You got the wrong tickets that time, and we had to sit in the regular seats.
You know what?
Not get food taken to our table.
Well, you know, Lauren, if you'd come with Mike and me to see Beast, then we did get seated in the correct section. And you know, if I remember, I invited you to see that movie multiple times, and you always said no.
Lauren, you're
Quote
not
Lisa Love from The Hills. How was that film? Did that work out for you?
You're not getting any sympathy from either of us.
It's okay. It's okay. No, I still love you.
I mean, it's Idris Elba fighting a lion with his bare hands. What's not to love?
That movie was special.
It was.
That movie was
special.
I'm gonna leave it at that. But what I was gonna say was that I definitely heard reactions last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. These girls. Remember that I was texting you while I was in the theater, and I was like, "This bitch!" Like she. Before the movie started, there was all these trailers, Charles, and it was like Casablanca is going to be here for a week. The Shining is going to be here for a week, something like that. And as soon as The Shining came on, and it's who's the woman again? Is it
Shelley Long?
Shelley Long, yeah. Thank you.
Shelley Duvall.
Duvall. Okay,
yeah,
that's right.
right.
I knew it's a Shelley.
So
I was going to say Shelley Winters. No, it's not a Shelley Winters. I was like, it's a Shelley.
But all of a sudden, I hear this woman go, "Why is Cher in this movie?" And I'm like, "Oh my god,
what? Cher? Oh no!"
I guess she looks like Cher from the '80s with the hair. I don't know. I have no idea.
Kind of
70s, yeah. But I texted Lauren and I was like, "This bitch did not just ask this question."
Oh god! I think I thought you meant that the woman thought that Cher was in this movie, and I was like, "Where?"
No.
That would have been pretty amazing if she was.
That's why I said fucking auto text, because it messed up. I thought it said The Shining. But no, especially with the grave scene, that girl was like, "Oh my god!" And then the bathtub scene, you could just hear the couple in back of me go, "Ew."
Oh, just go.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Or like the girl was like, "Ew," and I was like, well, you know.
The memes have been so funny. They're like, never have I ever been like jealous of a grave. Like, yeah. Also, I love when people post like 4 photos out of context that if you've seen the film, like you know what it is.
Oh
So
yeah.
someone posted like a bathtub drain, like a vampire, and like a runny egg, and like something else. It was like all these different things that if you'd seen the film,
runny egg.
yeah. And then all these different things like if you'd seen the film. So I love the meme content. I'm so here for just meme content in general, but I also want to say that like now that I've re-upped on edibles, I kind of want to see it a third time in the theater because I'm not going to be able to see it that cool at home. I'm also what's really weird too was when I was watching this movie, like it sounds weird and funny to say out loud, but I hope that people get it. Is like when I was watching it, like this is the kind of movie that I'm so accustomed to watching by myself. And watching streaming, because I don't know, because when we were younger, like these kind of movies were only in the video stores. Like these were not playing anywhere, not in DC anyway. We're not in New York or LA where we get all of like the indie stuff. So I would always just be used to watching like basically Gregoraki movies, like weird shit by myself, and I could never picture seeing it on a big screen. It's just strange. And now that I'm seeing it on a big screen, I'm like, God, this is so cool because this is something I totally would have watched in high school or something that I would have rented and been like, oh, what is this weird movie? And then like I'm sure the cover would look really cool and the actors are probably like these small actors, but now actors are so big because of social media.
Yeah.
And Euphoria is such a massive show that Jacob Elordi's on, but then he was in some Netflix movie I think before that, which I didn't see, but I think it's like a YA thing. But yeah, so it's really cool to see it like on a huge screen and the way it should be, because like the cinematography and production design are another character. They're so incredible.
Absolutely.
I love it. Let's see, Mike, you said you got some behind the scenes. Did you find out anything? I mean, it's gonna be on Prime on the 22nd, so people out there can see this soon.
Oh yeah, which is so weird. It's so fast.
I know. I feel like it should go out in like January or February. Like on
that's
on
a quick
streaming.
turnaround, because I mean it just came out last week, 2
Thanksgiving.
weeks? Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I did find out some stuff. Hold on, my notes are kind of all over the place.
I haven't heard of that much stuff.
Hold on, almost there. Okay. Barry Keoghan, is that? Okay, thank you. Spent a Belfast weekend with filmmaker Michael McNulty, developing his Liverpool accent and drinking pints for 20 hours straight.
Some Irish people on TikTok say that he's doing an Irish accent for the whole movie, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not the one to know.
Yeah, no, but you can definitely tell whatever accent he's attempting to do goes in and out.
Yeah, I think it's Liverpool.
Yeah,
I think is where he's supposed
to.
Like
I said, yeah. I mean, which again, Liverpool. I believe, what is that movie with Brad Pitt and he's like Doug's?
Oh, that's Snatch.
That's Liverpool accent.
Is it? I thought it was supposed to be a completely made up amalgamation that they had no idea like what he was. It was a mix of. Honestly, you know what it was? Because I remember doing this movie with Jai. Is he couldn't do the London accent. So Guy Ritchie was like, okay, then we're just going to make something like really fucking wild and crazy.
Oh, really?
Because we don't want people to joke on your London accent. Like, it's going to make it seem less authentic if you can't do it properly. So we're just going to make you do like a pikey accent, which is like a really exaggerated, like whatever, like a mix of like kind of like slurring your words, but then like a certain kind of accent. But I don't think it's Liverpool specifically. I remember Liverpool, isn't Sporty Spice from Liverpool?
I think so.
The Beatles are from Liverpool.
The Beatles are, yeah.
So I always remember like no, Manchester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oasis is Manchester. Who else is from Liverpool? There's someone else. I think Mel B? No, I think she's from Newcastle. Yeah. She kind of sounds like she's from... Anyway, I don't know. The Spice Girls will always help me with an accent. Okay, so I think it's Sporty Spice who's from Liverpool.
But
So, yeah.
my second is the actual place used for Saltburn is actually called Drayton House, and that is in Kettering, UK.
I want to stay there.
Right? Yeah, I totally do. In a video conversation with Margot Robbie, who is also one of the producers of the film,
How amazing!
Carey Mulligan said that the role Emerald Fennell, the director, originally offered her was not the one she ended up playing. Mulligan read the script and found she wanted to play a different character, and Emerald agreed to her request to play this other role instead. I'm wondering which role it was. It didn't say.
I wonder, because what other girl or woman character was in there besides Venetia or Elsbeth?
Well, Elizabeth's friend who died later.
Oh, Pamela?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if she was gonna, I wonder what the original one was. No. Yeah, was she gonna be Elsbeth?
Mm-hmm.
Or I wonder if she was, Venetia. No, she wouldn't be Venetia. No. I loved her fucking clothes. I love how they're like, she's so boring, but you'd never be able to tell because she's so stylish.
Right. Another one I have is some filming took place at the University of Oxford, which is also the alma mater of director Emerald Fennell.
Oh, that's cool.
Alma of Grey Friars, and star Rosamund Pike, a graduate of Wadham College. I think I'm pronouncing these right. I hope I am. Both Fennell and Pike also completed degrees in the same subject, English literature.
Oh, that's cool.
The Minotaur statue, if you remember, was designed using Barry's body as a reference.
Mm.
He has a beautiful body.
He's so well.
He's
actually not. It's just because Jacob Elordi is a mountain man. Like 6'5".
How is Jacob?
6'5".
Oh my god, Jesus Christ!
I wonder how many times he gets asked that a day. He's probably like, "Yes, I'm very tall."
My seventh one. Sorry, I'm almost done. Emerald has mentioned in interviews that she was influenced by a number of literary works when making the film, including The Go-Between by L.P. Hartley, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier.
Daphne du Maurier.
Thank you.
It is very. Didn't you feel that, Charles? It was very Mandalay.
Yes, absolutely.
Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Waugh.
Mm-hmm.
Maurice by E.M. Forster. The Remains of the Day by Kazu Ishiguro.
Okay, I don't know that.
Sorry. And Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Excuse me. My second to last one. During rehearsals, Rosamund Pike and Carey Mulligan improvised the conversation they have in their introductory scene. Emerald Fennell found it funny, so she added it to the final screenplay. Similarly, Rosamund Pike joked to Fennell that her character secretly thought, quote-unquote, normal people was written about her, which inspired some of the final dialogue in her sunbathing scene.
Oh.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
And then my last one was both the teddy bear in the long gallery that Felix tells Oliver belonged to his father, and the smaller teddy bear shown atop a casket near the end of the film are direct references to the novel Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Waugh. Much of the film's initial plot and characters draw from this novel. In the novel, Sebastian, a strong inspiration for Felix in Saltburn, often mentioned or is seen carrying around a teddy bear named Ulysses.
Huh.
Oh no, my last one, sorry. Venetia's hair was intentionally damaged by bleach, as the filmmakers thought it would be more accurate for a socialite of the period of summer of 2007.
Yeah, that's about right.
Sean Miller, head of the hair and makeup team, offered actress Alison Oliver a wig, but she was willing to sacrifice her hair's health for the character.
Oh wow!
Margot Robbie, the producer of the film, or a producer of the film, like I said earlier, visited the Saltburn set after Barbie wrapped. Miller said Robbie was impressed by the damage on Venetia's hair. She says, "I could hear her saying, 'Look at those brittle ends; they're just perfect.'"
Oh my god,
that's commitment.
And that's all she wrote.
I have to say I love Margot Robbie for so many reasons because I love a lot of the movies she's in, but I love the movies that she produces. Like she really, I think it's her and her husband like produce them together, and I just love what she ends up acting in, and then I also love what she ends up producing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
Does anybody else have any notes?
No, I don't have any general notes. I do have like some of the stats. Like currently on IMDb, it has a 7.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 72, and then audience score is 78. So it's very like, I feel like it's one of those like either you really like it or you really don't, or you just don't get it, or I don't know. But I feel like a lot of stuff is, I don't know. I really like listening to all of the discourse online about it, because some people are like, what I've heard is I feel like the younger generation is so used to breaking everything down like really microscopically that they're talking about how like it's not. I've seen people say, it's not really a good commentary on class because the people that are like of higher class are not like bad enough. Like we're not seeing them as evil as we should because rich people are bad, kind of thing. And I feel like they're always looking for like another like deeper commentary when sometimes that's not the point of the film, and that's not
whitewashing, right?
No, it's not whitewashing.
I do like that sometimes a movie can just be a movie, like doesn't always have to mean anything.
Yeah.
That's
how I feel. Like I feel like we're not supposed to, like, I think they're thinking that we're supposed to, like, I think the fact that, like, I mean, it's obviously spoiler alert, it's very like talented Mr. Ripley in that he's like kind of infiltrating, but Ripley is very different. It's similar, but it's actually not at all. But like you see like throughout it, Oliver like is plotting this whole thing, which I personally didn't know. I didn't see a lot of the twists coming. I thought that when Felix died, he was going to leave. And that was going to be like, that was the climax of the film, was that, oh my God, he died. And like, he had this horrible exchange last with him. And, he had found out his secret. And then does the rest of the family know his secret? Did he tell anybody? Like, would we ever know? I kind of thought that was how it was going to end, and he was going to just leave, and he would have this kind of magical tale of this crazy hedonistic summer that he spent at this estate. I didn't see like the entire next kind of act where you see like every step of this perpetual motion. And then I do like when, I don't know what the storytelling device is called, but when they actually flash back to scenes that you've seen and you see a different perspective on the scene that you've already seen.
Yeah,
so
that was cool.
Like, I like that, how you saw him like fuck around with, what's his name, Farley. There's too many F's. Felix Farley. And then like we didn't know, like the next day we're like, oh my God, Farley tried to steal a plate, and he told someone that he had like an auction house that he could get a hold of these plates and sell them for all this money. So then we never thought it had anything to do with Ollie. We were like moved on. And then at the end you see after they slept together, he like grabbed his phone and he emailed. So he's the one that's gone behind the back. So you kind of see all these little things that you didn't see before. There's another scene that everyone on TikTok's been freaking out about. I personally need to kind of watch it to see it again. So when Ollie has breakfast the first night or first morning, and he asks for the eggs, and he says over easy, fried over easy. And then Felix is sitting across from him. He has the English breakfast. And then, Farley's over here, Venetia, whatever. Apparently, when we are looking in the direction of, like, the outside, like the windows are in front of us, another doppelganger Felix walks by outside while Felix is sitting at the table. And I think during this discussion is supposed to be when they're talking about doppelgangers. Like, that is actually one of the stories that they're talking about at the table. I'm going to look for this because everyone on TikTok is like, yeah, I wondered if anyone saw that too. And I was like, shit, man, I don't pay attention to shit. I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't see that. I didn't get that, but that's pretty cool. So I kind of like that there are some, Easter eggs thrown in there too.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. That's all I kind of had for like the numbers so far. I mean, I also think that this movie is going to see a resurgence once it's available on Prime.
I think so.
Because a lot of people on TikTok I've been seeing that they're commenting that it never opened in their city, like in the theater. So they're all like, I'm dying to see this.
Oh, wow.
I'm dying to see this. So I feel like we'll see a lot more, I think, about it once it's widely streaming on Amazon. It's very like, this reminds me of like Bones and All, another movie that was like uncomfortable in a different way, but I really liked it. So I like this new genre of like kind of uncomfortability, like part coming of age, part uncomfortable. Also, people are doing these really funny lists where somebody yesterday did a TikTok about other movies to watch if you liked Saltburn. And they were doing the list, and I commented, I was like, how come no Gregoraki movies are on here? This is wild. I was like, that's weird. You want to see weird, like watch something like that. Like that's a lower budge version of this. But it's, one of my favorites. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you guys have any more like behind the scenes stuff? Like, I mean, I don't have any fashion notes, but did you guys have any standouts of like outfits that you liked or you can remember?
I loved Barry's party outfit with the horns.
Yeah.
I've actually been trying to find that exact top on Amazon, and I can't.
Oh, it's the pants. Don't the pants and the jacket match?
Yeah.
It's cool. Sophie Canale is the costume designer.
She's a genius.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Because I love all of those outfits. I mean, the mom,
Elsbeth.
Elsbeth. Oh my god, like her, just her character alone. Everything
I love her,
and everything she wears is just. I want to have somebody like her in our life.
She's really cool. She's really fucking cool.
She did not deserve her ending the way she ended, but
I know it very felt like very Igby Goes Down. That was like the vibe I had, but not as funny ish. But yeah, it was more like, it was really odd though, because like the more evil, I didn't ever saw this with Talented Mr. Ripley. I think that was just a really differently constructed film, and for the time in '99, and for Matt Damon, like as an actor, like it was just done in a very different, subtle way. But in this one, like when we found out the trick, like why did like he just keep getting hotter and hotter? I was like, all right, this is weird. Like after we find out he did all of this sick shit, we're just like, wait, why does he look even better than the beginning? Is it the hair? Like what have they done? Has he moved his face? Did he do something to his face where he looks different now? Like I don't get it.
So spoiler alert question, I guess. But
yeah,
because he does he own that castle now? Or
yeah.
Damn.
He got you saw her signing those papers.
Oh, she did. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, what is he gonna do?
The bigger question is Duncan there.
What is he gonna? Oh, right.
Is the house staff there? I want a sequel. Right? Is Duncan there? What has he seen, and how is he not AI? Because I was pretty sure that he was AI. Because he was just really weird.
Oh, yeah. I really want to know. He had a little bit of a gay vibe too.
Duncan?
I think he was just very British, so
it was very like, my employers made me sign a massive NDA, so I'm keeping my mouth shut of all the weird shit I see around here. I will not comment.
I love that song at the end, Blood on the Dance Floor. Oh my god.
I mean, we all do. Has it not been pumping in our like headphones and stereo for ever since we've seen the movie?
What was it? I looked it up as soon as you and I left the theater. Remember? I was on my phone.
It's so good, and now it just reminds me of like dancing all around my house, not naked, but dancing all around my house. But God bless Barry Keoghan for being European and not giving a fuck, because I seriously doubt like Jake Gyllenhaal would do that scene, or tons of the other actors, I guess, who would do it. But
his dick flapping in the wind like that, I was like, yeah.
I'm sure it's not the first time. But we thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you so much.
Most definitely. I did like how we got also Jacob Elordi in like a supporting role. Because I feel like he's a really, really good supporting actor. I did see that the Independent Spirit Award nominations came out, and I did not see any Saltburn nods.
Oh, interesting.
Hey, so I was gonna say, because 2 of his movies came out in the same year, is he gonna be like against himself?
I would think he would get nominated for Priscilla more than Saltburn. But I don't know. I also, if it's Independent Spirit, I don't know if because technically it's Amazon MGM, if MGM is considered like a big studio. Like, this is an indie film, but I think it was produced with MGM. Like, that's a major house. So maybe that's not considered like eligible for, maybe it has to be a smaller studio. Even though May December, which I have a feeling, Charles, Oscar Minute, I have a feeling May December is going to be the sneak in the Oscars. Like, everyone's talking about Charles Melton already. He just got a Critics' Choice Award.
Heard some good things. I think they're also talking about, I'm blanking on the name. It's that Bradley Cooper movie.
Maestro.
Yes.
Maestro,
and also that movie that's supposed to come out with Emma Stone.
Poor Things. I want to see that.
Yeah.
It comes out this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it comes out like Friday.
Nice.
We should all go see it.
Yeah, I really want to see it.
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks really cool. So yeah, that's another one. So yeah, we were talking the other day about like, what do we think is going to be, in the contender. I personally feel like it's going to be Hunger Games this season. I just feel like we have a lot of really good things out. And then I forgot, in seeing the Independent Spirit Award nominations, I forgot about a lot of the films in the beginning of the year that we forgot about, like Past Lives, like some of the Eastern Asian cinema, which is because things have been delayed. I feel like we may have heard about it, but there was the strike, so we just didn't hear about some of the things that were out. So that's one that I heard people talk about, but I think that technically will be for this year because it came out like early in the year, I think. Like January or something. So yeah, there's always going to be some sneak attacks, but May December is on Netflix, but I want to see that because apparently it's loosely based on Mary Kay Letourneau.
Oh wow.
I think that's the story it's loosely based on. And then I haven't heard anything about Napoleon as far as like awards go. And there's something else that I think I was surprised that I didn't hear. Well, Saltburn is is a toss up. Like, I think it would be really cool to nominate someone from it. Like Rosamund Pike, I thought was really great. I also thought Barry Keoghan was great, but it's a really tough category. Like, if we're talking lead actor in all the films that have been out this year, I don't know if I could sneak him in is it just 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a tight category.
Sometimes it's just hard to tell, you just don't know.
True.
I mean, I think it's unlikely, but it could always be possible. So
that's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what outfits. I mean, I love Venetia because she dressed most like girls in 2007. Like a very like messy Sky Ferreira. I don't know if you know Sky Ferreira, like the singer.
Yeah.
It very much like indie sleaze, Mary-Kate Olsen, boho. Like, she was like rich Peaches Geldof, Pixie Geldof, like British, like cool girl, but like rocker girl. She kind of had that vibe. Like, I love that tinsel jacket that she has when they're playing tennis outside.
Yeah.
And they have the suit. The guys have the suits on. Yeah, and she has like the really cool jacket with the sunglasses, and she just looks really cool. I like the way that she looks. She reminds me of another actor. She kind of reminds me of the girl who plays Nancy in Stranger Things. Like a little bit, but like her face, not like the blonde hair, because the other girl doesn't have blonde hair, but she kind of like reminds me of her a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty cool. What other fashion did I like? I mean, I really liked Ollie when you saw him later in that cafe. And he was sitting like typing like gibberish on his computer.
Oh yeah.
And I think he has glasses. I did like his glasses were very like 2006, the like rimless glasses that he had on in the beginning. And then somehow lost. Like didn't wear. I think he had like black rim glasses when we saw him with Elspeth later, but I thought he was totally gonna bag Elspeth in that house.
Yeah, right.
I was kind of surprised that he didn't. Yeah. But maybe that would have been like a step too far.
Yeah.
I don't think her husband would have cared.
Step too far after what they do.
Well, yeah, but I guess he really had to play his cards right, because then it would be harder to manipulate her in the end to get the house. Because once he's thrown out, I did love when the stepfather, like near the end, was like, well, you should leave because, we want to grieve in private and there's not much point being here. And he was like, no, I'm not leaving. She needs me. And he was like, no, I think you should leave in like the dead of night so we don't like have to see you again. And he was like, no, like, I'm not leaving. He's like, how much? But then he does leave.
Yeah.
And then he just like bides his time.
Yeah.
And has money, bides his time, and then finally like goes in for the kill. Which is kind of crazy. It would be cool if he met up with Farley like later on. And he's like, I got the house. Like, now you'll never want for anything again.
I think Farley is attractive. I didn't care for his hair. It looked like, what's his name? Corbin Bleu from High School Musical.
Oh, I've never seen High School Musical.
That scarred me.
High School Musical did?
Yeah, I don't know why. It was trying to be I don't know. It was trying.
Was that before Glee or after Glee?
That was before.
Oh, okay.
But they made like, I don't know, 8 of those movies or something like that.
Yeah, they made a lot. Oh, I forgot about Zac Efron in that wrestler movie.
Yeah,
it's another one that's gonna be a contender.
But I liked Farley's character, even though
I didn't like his character.
You didn't like it?
No, I'm sure the actor is cool, but yeah, I didn't like his character. I found him annoying.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He was basically the Jacob of this movie.
Wow.
He was. Every time he came on screen, I was like, why are you here?
Yeah,
no.
I feel insulted. No, I'm just kidding.
You should feel insulted. You should feel intense shame because it's the fact that he imprinted on that weird alien baby is just
weird
strange. Yes, she was a weird alien baby.
You're calling it a weird alien baby.
Renesmee, come on.
Well, yeah, that's such a great name too.
That is a horrid name.
That's horrible.
Child. Renesmee? I mean,
oh god.
Rumor has it that Robert Pattinson's girlfriend is pregnant, and I was like, he has to name the baby Renesmee. Like,
oh my god.
He actually has to.
Renesmee, like, what is that? I mean,
isn't it like Renee and like something else? What was the explanation for that?
I think that Bella's mother was named Renee, but Esme was Edward's mom, and so she was like, I couldn't decide between the two of them, so I just made them all one name.
Oh my god,
that is horrible.
That's horrid. That poor child. That poor fucking child.
Right? No.
Okay, so music wise, MGMT, Time to Pretend. I mean, just the biggest song ever. But I do love a montage. I love a party montage. I love any kind of music. I mean, any kind of music that's not today's music, I'm down. I'm in. So
we got the Cheeky Girls with "Have a Cheeky Christmas." That was playing in the bar.
Yeah, so low. That's the thing. I didn't like really hear it. Yeah.
We had Arcade Fire with "No Cars Go." I didn't write like what scenes they were in.
Another one that I remember vaguely in the background.
Yeah, it's called like "You're Gorgeous" by Baby Bird. I think that's the one that's playing at his birthday party. No,
oh, okay.
No, wait. Oh no, that's "Loneliness" by Tom Kraft.
Okay.
Loneliness. I can't say.
Oh, so. Okay. Yeah. And then they have like the karaoke and stuff.
Lights and everything like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then of course, like I said, "Murder on the Dance Floor" by Sophie Ellis Baxter. I mean,
so cool.
So fucking like that's one of my favorite little parts at the end.
I mean, that's the best part of the movie. Let's be fair.
That's the best part of the movie when he's not doing anything weird.
The intent. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not actually weird compared to everything else he'd done.
Compared to everything he's done in
the movie. It's not that weird. I mean, the thing is I guess I'm just assuming that the younger generation has been more sheltered, I guess, which is strange to think because they can see everything, and you guys watch really upsetting things, and I'm just surprised that so many of them were so, I mean, like utterly shocked. And I don't know if it was just for like trolling on the internet. Like, they weren't a shock, but that was the thing to be like funny and jokey about. They were like, oh my god, I'm never the same. I was like, oh, I mean, I guess, I mean, I'm trying to put myself like in that age group. I guess if this was the first time I'd seen anything weird, I'd be like, holy shit. It is kind of weird. I mean, I guess, well, hold on, kids, there's weirder shit out there. So I mean, you know. But I mean, it's just I don't know, I haven't seen anything like that in a long time, and I haven't seen a film twice in the theater for a while.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's really said something. Did you guys have favorite scenes or lines? I didn't really write anything down because I don't have any, like, I did like when Elizabeth was talking to Ollie outside, and she's like, I was a lesbian for a while, but I couldn't deal with it. It was too wet. She's like, I just love men. They're so unbelievably dry.
They're so lovely and dry. And I was like, what kind of men did you go to?
I was like, what are you talking about? But I love you.
That was actually one of the scenes that I had. Because I had two. I had that one, and then I like the even though it's sad because, you know, Oliver is like basically straddling Elizabeth's like dead body, and it's like the last lines in the movie, and he's like, I hated all of you, and you made it so easy. Spoiled dogs sleeping belly up, no natural predators, as he's like disconnecting her life support, which is like gross. And then Oliver's like, well, almost none. And then that cuts to, you know, him being naked and all lovely and stuff. But
I was snorting like, lines of coke.
Right
in like the blue room, sunny room, and then like champagne, just drinking champagne. Just
I love when Jacob Elordi's character is like, this is the blue room, it's blue.
This is the library. Dead ready.
I do like that whole shot of him like giving the house tour, and he's just like flying through all these rooms.
I know.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
And that like buttery yellow linen shirt that you can like see through.
Yeah.
I see you, cinematographer. I see you.
I kind of like the karaoke scene.
Yeah,
it was just like so awkward and weird, and I was like, what's going on here? And you know, and you can tell the guy who's singing is like committed. Like he has been like studying for this performance for at least a week, you know. And then of course,
purple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
Oh my god! And Richard E. Grant, he's like, I love this. That's the best part. The words are on the screen.
Oh god.
I hate karaoke. It's so awful.
I kind of like it if I'm drunk enough. I've only done it like a handful of times.
Yeah, me too.
I am always too scared. I just can't do it.
I have to be really drunk.
Yeah,
like, really, really drunk
for sure.
Did you have another one, Charles? Sorry, I think we cut you off.
I'm trying to think. I also just like the I also like this. There's more than one, but I like the scene of like Felix just kind of like lounging in his dorm room at Oxford and just like complaining about how hot it is, and you know, he's like in that like loose like linen shirt, you know, and
don't you love how he leans? It's very Jordan Catalano. It's just like, let's just watch him like lounging around. I love that they all are reading Harry Potter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was
too,
cool.
Like all around the house, like you see them, like he's reading Harry Potter on the roof.
And then they're watching like Superbad, right?
Mm-hmm. Tell me it's 2006 without telling me it's 2006.
Right.
Like everybody's watching Superbad, yeah.
Technically, that was in 2007, though.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's right, because it's like the next year.
Yeah.
It was like class of 06. That means that you're graduating in the spring of 06. Then how is it the summer of 07? That's why the timeline is weird, but we're not, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's just, yeah, the timeline is kind of
as we're picking it apart. Yeah.
I do love when they're all in the field and they're all like naked and they're like, no trunks in the field.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, oh, okay, and then he like walks towards them. I think it's Farley who's like, wow, good for you. And that's when they're like And like Venetia's just laughing. I was like, oh my god, this is so. I was like, I want to go to Saltburn.
You're not a spider. You're like a moth.
I know. That was a really weird scene, but I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Where she kind of like, I did like when she kind of figured out that like there was something up with him.
Yeah.
That he was like a leech, but the way that she is, it's always the people that seem like off balance that are always right about everything. But it's like no one in the movie will listen to them because they aren't supposed, you know, as a viewer, we know, but you know, no one else knows. But I feel like she was really like in that tub part. And he was just like really like, now she just like, he put the blades next to the actual tub, but he didn't slit her wrist, did he? Like she did it on her own?
No, that's what he says. Or that's what he narrates. So it's up to, I guess, the audience to be like, did he or didn't he?
Yeah, because he put we saw him put the blades there.
I think it was maybe an encouragement.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Like,
but he could have done it and nobody would have thought otherwise.
This is very true.
That's the thing, is they would have been like, well, she had issues.
It's up to audience, you know.
That's true.
Imagination.
Just my imagination.
Oh my god, I want to see that movie so badly. That imaginary movie.
What's that?
Remember?
Oh, yes. I saw that trailer. Yeah, no. That's too scary.
Because that was playing as the trailer. It's like,
yeah, it's like the trailer song. Just my imagination. Yeah, no. That is really scary though.
That looks so good. And I love Blumhouse.
Yeah, I really liked the Purge series. Both seasons. I still am a massive Purge fan, just as an original story, because we have nothing else. So I feel like that was the original thing.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing I always had, and not always, but I had a question about, was anyone else as shocked as I was when we find out that Felix found Ollie's real house, like his real parents?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah,
and we get that we get that like total. I feel like when we stepped in the house, it felt very Black Mirror.
Yes.
Like it had a very odd vibe. Like there's that, like you also kind of see that different side of Felix, that he's angry that he's been duped.
Yep.
And apparently we also find out about this Eddie that was there last year. And I'm like, what did Eddie do?
Right.
I wonder what Eddie did. But we get this kind of, when we see the parents and everything, and then Ollie like gets up and he's like, I have a horrible migraine. Horrible. And he's like, take a pill. Sit down.
Right.
Like, and then he does that weird smile that feels like I'm watching like The Grudge. Like I was like, the fuck? It's really weird. It's like a weird kind of Black Mirror vibe. Like a weird grin, but a laugh grin and an evil grin and like a nervous grin. It was really creepy with that Jacob Elordi did. And then when the next shot you see is, you know, he's like, I'm not really hungry, you know, and they're like, no, mom made lunch for you. You're going to eat. And then the next scene we see them in the car, like headed back to Saltburn. I was like, I don't understand why he didn't just leave him there and just send his bag there and then be like, we're done, Ollie. And apparently they were supposed to be his party. Like they're supposed to be Ollie's birthday party. I'm like, they would not have cared if he didn't show up, and they would have just had a party anyway. Like I don't get why they brought him back in. Why would Felix want him back in? Like that's what I didn't really get. But
I mean, for Felix's sake, he probably should have done that. But
yeah,
I mean, you know.
Oh god, when he puts the Coke in the champagne and then he drinks it and then he like vomits like all just next to him, like it's so calculated, and I didn't see it coming. I feel like anyone who says they saw it coming, I think it's impossible that you could have seen that it would unravel the way that it did. I think, but I thought it was so good. Best movie I've seen in the theater for a while. I think we'll be talking about this for a while, just as a culture and like a movie culture. I feel like we'll see more people talk about it, more scenes, more TikToks, fan cams, montages. Barry Keoghan, you are now my new obsession, and I'm gonna try to watch more of his filmography.
There's gonna be action figures and comic books, and no, I'm kidding.
Someone said that they wished A24 they wish that A24 distributed this so they could have bought like a bag of Felix's bathwater that they would have inevitably sold on their web shop. And apparently there were these mini bathtubs for promotion in some of the theaters, and they had to tell the people, like, no, you can't buy these. And people were like, I wanted the Saltburn bathtub. And I was like, this has gone really far. We've strayed further and further from God's light now. So yeah, I mean, any last words? This was just like a random episode. I'm just gonna throw up there. And...
No, but I'm glad I saw this twice.
I'm glad I saw it once, and it's a story that sticks with you. So,
yeah, it definitely does.
What theater did you go
to? Bethesda Row.
Oh, Bethesda Row.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we got scammed. We didn't get those recliner seats we're used to at Silver Spring.
Right.
We're all used to those now. Although the ones we went to at Montgomery Mall, I was like, wow, is this 1989? What's happening here? Right. Like fold up seats? I was like, really? That's okay.
I feel like we were attending like a university lecture.
I know, it was like a tiny theater. It was one of those like weird, like it felt very 90s.
Yeah.
I felt because only theaters would be like, they have multiple screens. Like it wasn't a big screen. And also it was filmed in 4:3, the aspect ratio of the old TV.
Oh, okay.
Which I found really interesting because I don't think a lot of people like, not that they didn't pick it up, but like I feel like I thought I was tripping. I was like, why is there the black? I was like, oh shit, is this filmed in like the old TV ratio, like from 2007? Like, is that why it's filmed like this? Because they didn't have the wider TVs yet. Like, we didn't have the 16:9 widescreen TVs yet. We still had the square, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's another interesting tidbit about it, which I thought was cool. I think it was shot on film, too.
Oh, interesting.
Like motion picture film, I think. Which probably takes for like the color and like how warm it looked and everything. It just looked really cool. But yeah, I mean, as always, sign up for the Patreon. I don't know what we're doing over there next. We're going to do some holiday-ish, maybe like domestic drama holiday movies. I think me and Charles, what we're going to do next? Reversal of... Yeah, well, we all have to do Home Alone this month. And then we're going to do, I think me and Charles are going to do what? Reversal of Fortune?
Yeah.
That's the next one we're going to do. And yeah, we'll keep you updated. Please like, review, rate, share, tell your friends and all that. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.